Good morning, everyone. Have you ever thought, oh, it would be so much fun to come up with a song? And I know I've done it a million times. In fact, I thought today I'd share with you this. Sometimes you have these guitar riffs or ideas in your head, and it seems like they're always coming up. You're always playing them, and then it never goes anywhere. Well, I'm going to share one with you today that I do all the time. It seems like it comes up, and I keep thinking, oh, there's a song there. So I thought I'd give it to you and see if you can figure it out. Maybe you've got a song you could write from it. And they're actually very pretty chords, and they can be changed in terms of how you pick them or perhaps strum them. So I thought I'd share that with you today. I like to do creative things, although I don't think I've ever written a song, well, I have a couple that I wrote, but I don't know. It's still not, it never really gelled for something I thought, wow, now that's quite a song. But you never know. You never know what you're going to come up with when those creative times hit. I guess I've always kind of been like that, where I felt like I wanted to sing, or I wanted to play an instrument. I wanted to be creative. In fact, I remember I was raised in Palatine Bridge, New York, and my first couple of years of school was in I think it was like one room. I only saw one room. The schoolhouse was a big old stone schoolhouse there in Palatine Bridge. It had a bell on top, and they'd ring that bell for recess and for when school started and so on. But then when I went on to grade school, I crossed over the bridge there to Canajoharie. That's spelled Canajoharie. I still remember how to spell it. And but Canajoharie had a school called East Hill, if I remember right. And we had a music teacher there. And I remember when she told us she was going to have tryouts for the choir. And I thought, oh, I want to be in the choir so bad. I got to get in the choir. And I wasn't that old. I think it was second or third grade. I don't know. But I remember thinking, I'm gonna try out. I'm gonna put everything into this. I gotta be in that choir. So the tryout days came, and they set up in the auditorium, which was actually where they had cafeteria, where we'd go eat every day as well. And these weren't very big schools, believe me, but. And anyways, the cafeteria was right there off of there, and they'd serve us our meal for 25 cents every day. And so, but during the day they used it for other things, and in this case they were using it for music. And we had our piano pulled in there, and came my time. And I remember she gave me the key. It probably was C, maybe C, maybe G. I'm not sure. Probably C. And she'd say, okay, now. And she asked me to sing a few bars of, what was that song? Oh, Shoe Fly. That's what it was. She asked me to sing that song, Shoe Fly. Do you remember that? Shoe fly, don't bother me. Shoe fly, don't bother me. Shoe fly, don't bother me. I belong to Company G. And then it goes on, I feel like a morning star. You probably don't remember it. You're probably all thinking, what is this lady's gone nuts? Well, I may have. But in any case, I sang that song. I remember belting it out so loud. And I just wanted to be in that choir, so I put everything into it. In fact, I think I even dressed up that day with my best dress. I had one best dress. It was for church. I remember I had a red velour part on the top, and then it went down to this kind of fancy, I don't know. I'd wear that with bobby socks and patent leather shoes. And so anyways, so I wore my best dress. I was all ready to go. I was going to get in that choir. And I remember belting it out. And when I got through, she didn't say a word. She just went silent. And I looked at her face, and it just had this funny expression. I couldn't figure out what she was thinking, and she didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden she said, okay, you're going to be in the choir. But but that pause and that silence, I think about it to this day. I can still see her face. I think maybe she was probably biting the insides of her cheeks, trying not to laugh. That could have been it. And she just couldn't say anything, or she was going to fall over. I'm not sure. Or perhaps she let me be in the choir because she saw it meant so much to me. Anyways, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but those were my creative moments. And so I still have creative moments, but I don't sing and belt out Shoe Fly Don't Bother Me. Have you ever had those moments? Did you try out for the choir? Leave me a note. Let me know. Let me know about your experience. I'd like to know that I'm not the only one. Anyways, I thought today I'd show you a few chords that I always seem to go to when I'm trying to think up something or make up a song. I've never made up a song from this one. I have several of them, but I'm going to just show you one. And I may have shown you some of these chords before, but I'll show you one way that it could be arranged. And then you take it and you see if you could create from it. Okay, so the first chord is a G major 7th. I like the G major 7th chord. I like any major 7th chord. They just, to me, they just sound so neat. In fact, that A major 7th right there. I don't know if you remember Simon and Garfunkel. I Wish I Was a Kellogg's Cornflake. That starts with that chord. Let's see, take this pick off. I wish I was a Kellogg's Cornflake, floating in my bowl, taking movies. You remember that song? Okay, so that's a major 7th chord, and so those are just really neat chords, I think. And this one that I'm starting out is with a G major 7th. All you have to do is take your first finger, put it right here on the 3rd fret. And by the way, if you're hearing a lot of squeaking and squawking, part of it is this couch, but then also I think this keeps hitting. I don't know here. I got my James White guitar out today. This is a neat guitar, by the way. This is Brazilian rosewood, and it has a special spruce top. I forgot which. I think it's kind of the Holy Grail spruce tops. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, this is a gorgeous instrument. It actually has fan bracing on it. I don't want to get off on it, but just so you know, this was made very special for you can just hear how it rings out. It's just beautiful. It's just, to me, it's a great guitar. James White guitars, look them up. Anyways, so back to my little riff that I like to play. And I'm always looking for something in that. It starts with the G major 7th chord. You take and you make like an A minor shape, but make it with your first finger on the 2nd fret, and use your ring in your middle to make the rest of that shape, the A minor shape. Okay, then you slide that up. Okay, so you slide that up and then just put your pointer finger on the 3rd fret, 6th string, and just play string 6, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so then the next chord you go to is a B minor 7th here on the 7th fret. Just move that first finger up to the 7th fret and then make like an A shape there at the 7th fret. On strings 4, 3, and 2, you're lined up on the 7th fret. So you have, okay, now we're going to go to another major 7th. And this one's going to be a C major 7th. Well, if this is a G major 7th, If you move up 2 frets, you got to have A major 7th, right? And you go up 2 more frets, you got a B major 7th, and B to C is 1 fret. So go up 1 fret with that same shape, and you got a C major 7th. So you got G major 7th, and you got a C major 7th. Okay, so now let's see where we're going to go with that. Okay, so we've got what I did here is I went back to that B major 7th, slid back 2 frets to A major 7th, and walked it back into the G major 7th. So that's one thing you could do with it. Another, down here to this and to the D, and then close with a regular G chord. So or if you wanted to, you could go C, D, and go back into it. So I thought I'd share that with you today. It's simple, but I think it's good to have certain things that you go to and enjoy. Let me just get a little coffee here. Every once in a while, my throat gets dry. Okay, it's morning. Got to have your coffee. Anyways, so I think it's good to have those things to go to and play around with them. There's so many things you can do with that. And if you come up with a song, share it, post it, and let me know. I want to hear what you came up with. All right, and have some fun with that. Now, I have a live that's coming up on September the 16th. I actually got some help this time, and it should be good. We're going to do a walk on the Hall of Strings. It's changed so much, my collection of instruments, and I have an area where I keep my guitars displayed, and I call it my Hall of Strings. So I'm going to share that with you on September the 16th. I'll also have a question and answer period, and also we're going to have some giveaways, so you don't want to miss that. You just might be one of the recipients of whatever it is that I have to share with you. I think I'm going to go practical this time, that there'll be things that you can use, okay? All right. Well, all right, so I'm going to leave it right there. And I hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.